Hey, this is Karen Elizabeth Patton Jack's baby girl, and welcome to another episode of Karen's Inquisitive Corner. As a woman, have you ever just thought about why some women, just break down other women and cut down other women that they may know or women that they may not know, women that they see in the movies or women that they see in commercials, women that they see in Kroger, women that they see in the mall. They just break them down for some reason, especially when they are in high positions. So let's review that today and let's talk about that. And I want you, as I talk about it, I want you to think about a situation where you may have been in this job or in this position where people were just breaking you down or cutting you down, and other women, and they never reached their hand down to pull you up. They never helped train you to understand what the job is. And you ask yourself, why? I don't even know them. They don't even know me. So why would they do that? Let's talk about it a little bit in the corner. Now, when we look at women, society looks at women as a group of individuals that should bond. They should get along. They should treat each other like sisters or sisters and family because they're women, and that's what women do. Women should care for each other. They should take care of each other. They should compliment each other and be there for each other because they are women. But in some instances, women don't do that. They don't take up for each other. They do just the opposite. They talk about each other and they put you down, but they do it for various reasons. Now, when you look at men, society says that, okay, so men, they don't get along, they rap, they are rivals. So that's what they expect from a man, but they don't usually expect it from a woman. There's a lot of different reasons why women would act like that. One of them being just having job security, because the job that they may be in, they may be a CEO, they may be a president of a company, is usually a man's job. So they are insecure being in this job because they're women. And that way, they hold that job close and they don't want any other woman to come up to be as good or better than them because they're risking losing that job. So they're threatened by other women that may be as good as them or other women that could actually help them out to make their job easier or even to make their job better because they are in a traditionally male role. So they're going to hold close to that. And they're not going to help any other woman come up and take that job from them. Yes, as women, we can be biased. We can be biased in a negative way, and we can be biased in a positive way. We can just not like a person because we don't like them. We don't know them. We don't know anything about their history. We don't know nothing about their family. We don't know how old they are. We don't know when their birthday is. We don't know what sign they are. We just don't like them for no reason, no reason at all. And just really biased about liking somebody or not liking somebody without a reason. And that puts that woman in a certain position because that exudes from them. That comes from how they act physically, that comes out of how they verbally act and how they approach that woman, that they don't like them. You ask them why? They just don't. They don't like the color of their hair. They don't like the way they talk. They just don't like them. So they're just really biased about how that woman is. And they're very disrespectful. But it can come to that the woman that's feeling very biased does not respect herself ultimately. She has a lack of respect. She has a lack of confidence. So this other woman comes along that respects herself, that is very confident in herself. She's very confident in what she's doing and how she carries herself. And so that raises suspicion in the other woman. And what can resolve from that is disrespect and just not liking them in the way that they treat them. Past experiences, just negative situations. A woman could be in a situation where they're being nice, where they're bonding, where they're being kind, where they're treating others like sisters. But then that sister backstabs them, or that sister goes around them and underhandedly takes their job, or underhandedly takes their husband, or underhandedly takes something that they're working towards and being nice to the person, but then at the end of it, I got your job. Oh well, you should have known what I was doing. So when you go through situations like that, when you go further in the future, you're going to remember that. And so the way that you treat other women could reflect from that one situation. It shouldn't, but it will. And it's not just in women, it's in relationships or just life in general. Some of the things that we go through that may be negative in relationships, in families, in communities, in society, in churches, we take that with us, and it reflects how we treat other people. We talked about insecurity, competition. Women are in competition with other women. Now, I'm not saying that this is right, but women can be in competition with other women. No, you're not going to do as much as I'm doing. Have you ever met a person? I'm kind of talking to the women today. So, if you ever met a woman and you say, well, my son started reading at 6. Oh, well, my son started reading at 3. Well, my son graduated with a 3.8. My son graduated with a 4.0. Well, my son is going to this school. But, they're always going to outdo you. My house costs $250,000. Well, I'm getting ready to buy a $450,000 house. Everything you do, or your family does, your children do, they have always done more. They have always done better. That person is in competition. And it's the same way in a job situation. They're in competition, and that competition is going to come out. So therefore, no, they're not going to support you. No, they're not going to have anything nice to say about you because they're in competition with you. They are trying to be where you are or trying to be above it. Has nothing at all to do with you. None of the things that I've said today has to do with you. None of it. They're in competition. In the corner, we've talked about narcissistic behavior. And sometimes women can actually be narcissists. Now, I know statistics say that men are more narcissistic than women, but women can also be narcissists. And we've talked about this. Narcissistic behavior just means excessive thoughts of yourself, putting yourself way up here. You just want admiration. You want people to say how amazing you are. You have no sympathy or empathy for anyone. Oh, well, did that harm me? Okay, well, I don't have anything to do with that. You're a narcissist because you're very, very self-centered. Everything you do in life, everything you say, every move you make, everything you do is about self. You are trying to increase self or make self better. Narcissistic behavior. Some of us marry narcissists. Some of us live with narcissists. Some of us may have friends that are narcissists, but it's always about them. Any situation that goes negative, They didn't have anything to do with it. It's somebody else's fault. They lost their jobs, somebody else's fault. They lost their promotion, somebody else's fault. Never going to be their fault. Any of y'all work with women like that? And the last thing is, and it's more, but I'm just giving you a few. The last thing is some women are just downright mean. They're just mean people. They act intentionally. They hurt you intentionally. It's deliberate. It's not a mistake. They undermine you. They're unkind deliberately. It's meant to be that way. They are trying to hurt you. They are trying to make you look bad. They are trying to bring you down beneath them because they're insecure. And in order for them to feel like they've gone somewhere and they've done something, then they have to bring you down verbally, consciously, unconsciously to build themselves up. Again, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not justified. They don't have a reasonable reason to do that. So when I looked at this and I studied it, I was trying very, very hard to connect something mental with people, women just being mean and treating other women like that. I didn't find a lot about it. Yes, if it's really, 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 really extreme, it can be narcissistic behavior. They can be a narcissist, or it could be like a personality disorder. They could be nice this morning, hate you this afternoon, not speaking to you today, and speaking to you next week like nothing ever happened. So it can be very, very deep rooted, and it can be mental. But what I want each and every one of you to know, it is absolutely nothing that you have done. Now, if you talked about the person and it got back to him, if you did something negative to the person and it got back to him, then yeah, it's your fault. But as women, as grown women, and as friends, as sisters, as family, as Christians, as church members, if you have a problem with somebody, you should be able to go and talk with them about it. And if somebody does that, then don't be defensive and say, oh, I didn't say that, or oh, I didn't do that. Because it doesn't matter what you thought you did. It doesn't matter how you thought you said it. What matters is how the other person took it. And if you hurt their feelings, then you hurt their feelings. And just say, I'm sorry. That was not my intent. I did not mean to hurt your feelings. Please accept my apology. I apologize for that. I'm sorry you took it that way. That's not the way I meant it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you feel. What matters is how the person took it. We've talked about this a lot in the corner. Sometimes there's people in your life that you have to give them the benediction. Lord, watch between me and thee while we're absent from one another. You don't hate them. You don't dislike them. You don't want anything to happen to them, but they cannot be a part of your everyday living, of your everyday life, because of things that they bring into it that makes it hard, that makes it hurtful, that makes it heavy. And that's okay. That's being a big girl. That's okay. So when somebody comes to you and say, hey, let's talk for a minute. Um, you know, that really hurt my feelings what you said the other day, or how you approached me. Me and Paula, we've done it for 40 years. Okay, we can agree to disagree, and then we going on, hey, let's go eat some wings and french fries. It's okay. Be a big girl. It's time to put that pettiness, it's time to put all that to the side and stop being defensive and just say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. And look out for all these people, because As I said earlier, sometimes when women treat you a certain way, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has to do with them. It has to do how they were raised. It has to do some of the negative situations, positions, encounters that they've had in their life. And sometimes they really don't even mean it. It comes out that way, and they really don't even mean it that way. And they need you to come to them and talk to them about it and say, hey, I thought we were cool. Let's talk about this. So I really hope that you got something out of the show today. I always get something out of the show. And I feel like when I talk to you all about situations like these, it makes me a better person and it makes me more cognizant of how I treat people. So if it's anybody out there that I have ever said something negative to or approached them in a negative way, or maybe said something in the corner that I have personally hurt, please know that was never my intentions. And please bring it to my knowledge. Tell me about it and let me know if I have ever offended any of you the last 5 years being in the corner or just being in Kroger or Walmart or whatever. I love you. Y'all have a great day. It's Karen Elizabeth Patton Jack's baby girl, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye bye.